G'day guys, Greg here. Now it's cooking time once again, and today, well, I'm going to whip up a spag bowl for dinner. Now this recipe is super easy, it's super delicious, easy to make. Let me show you what I'm using. Alright, well for this recipe I'm using garlic and onion. Use as many garlics as you want. I got some minced beef here. Now this is the high fat one. That's the one I like using because the taste of fat is the taste of success. I've got some tomato paste, some Italian herbs, a bit of nutmeg, soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce. I got my trusty old anchovies there and a tin of diced tomatoes. And of course, some butter. Now I've only got two things I need to cut up. That's the onion and the garlic. And by the magic of YouTube, that's done. Right, let's start cooking. Alright, well, let's start warming up the frying pan. Now, we'll start off by adding some olive oil in. And then, I'll start chucking in the onions. Give those a fry, and of course, what would onions be without a couple of good knobs of butter? I like to throw this in now, get that melting in with the olive oil, and that stops the butter from burning. So we'll get that melting. Now you cook the onions for about a minute or so before you add in the garlic. I'm trying to scrape some of that out of the way. Chuck my meat in. We'll just let that fry away and cook until it's nicely golden brown. And when I am cooking the meat, I just like to let it sit there without stirring it too much. Getting it nicely cooked. And then after a while, and give it the old flip. Cook it on that side for a bit. And once it's been cooking on that side for a bit, you chop it all up. Blend it all in together. Now, something else I like to add is a bit of nutmeg. Now, nutmeg and meat goes together like a horse and carriage. So, just get my measurement utensil out. Now, you don't need a lot of nutmeg. I mean, that's just hardly any there. So I'll just throw that in. And it just adds this really great flavour to meats, the nutmeg. It's great. And something else I like to add in, some Italian herbs. No, just go and get a thing of Italian herbs. It's not that hard. And, well, you need like, that's 1, 2, 3 sort of decent shakes. Now I've got some soy sauce here. I'll add some of that in. Just like, not too much, a little dash. And about the same amount of the Worcestershire sauce. And I still haven't even stirred it yet, have I? Give it a stir. Get all those flavours mixed in. Now, I'll add some pepper. As much as you want. And I'll crack a bit of salt in. Sometimes I don't like to add the salt in too early or too much of it because you just don't know how salty it's going to be, so taste it along the way. But I know that the tomato paste and tins of tomato can be a little bit bland sometimes, so I'll just put a little bit of tomato paste in there. And this tin of crushed tomatoes. Better take that out. Even though the dentist would probably love me to leave that in there. And then lastly, I've just got a couple of anchovies here. A couple's all you need. Let's chuck those on. You don't notice the taste of the anchovy in this. I think there's a clove there, I'll take that out. But yes, anchovy is fishy, but oh mate, it gives such a good flavour to this. So, and that'll just dissolve in there, you won't even know it's there. But you will once you taste it, because it just adds a great flavour. And pretty much that's it. Now I'll turn the heat right down on that. And I'll stick a lid on because otherwise it starts splattering all over the back wall there and mate. Which is why, if that happens, wipe it off while it's still wet and it won't get caked on in a couple of hours time when you finally decide to wipe it off. Mate, clean as you go. That's what I always say. Now basically this is literally ready, but what I'm going to do is just let it simmer away for as long as I need it to. Could be an hour, could be half an hour. But if I'm going to like cook this at lunch for dinner, I'll like let it simmer for like half an hour or an hour and then turn it off and just let it sit there and let all those flavours infuse together. But in the meantime, I need to cook some pasta, so I'll get this heating up over there. Bit of salt in the water. And I always like to put a little bit of olive oil in there too, to try and help the pasta from stopping from sticking together. Now some might say that's an old wives' tale, but look, I've never had sticky pasta, so I reckon it works. Okay, well the water's finally started boiling, so I'll just chuck in a bit of this pasta. And it takes about 5 to 8 minutes to cook, so I better put the old timer on for, I reckon it'll take about 8 minutes, but I'll put it on for 6 minutes. I'll give it a stir, make sure it's not sticking. And I better check this pasta too. Oh yeah. It'll probably need a stir. Yum. You could give it a taste while you're at it. Make sure it's salty enough for you. I trust myself, so I think it's just going to be perfect. Alright, well that pasta's cooked, so we'll drain that off. Alright, well it's time to serve it up, so get some pasta in here. And here's the delicious buttery spag bowl sauce. Get some of that on there. Better more than less, they say. And you don't get a body like mine without adding something like some sour cream. Just a little bit. I love just blending it in with, well, the meat and everything, and oh boy, is it good. And of course, you need to chop it off with some cheese, don't you? And there you go, some of Grego's favourite Bolognese sauce. Oh, I can't wait to tuck on in. Let's just try some of this sauce on its own. Oh, so good. Just the perfect amount of saltiness for me. And oh boy, all the flavors in there just combine so well. Let's try it with some sour cream, bit of cheese and pasta. Oh mate, I'm gonna be sleeping like a baby tonight with a belly full of beautiful pasta. What more do you want? Well, you probably want some more Greg's Kitchen videos, don't you? So remember, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time I cook something up. See you then. Oh yeah, this is Greg's Kitchen, where the